This is DeRay. Catch my show, the Alston Collab Money Talk, every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. On my show, you'll be able to hear all things regarding money, success, and personal development. Tune in on Wednesday in the Great Stream. Jump in.
Good morning, good morning. This is DeRay Alston. This is another show, the Alston Collab Money Talk. We are streaming live on the Fishbowl Radio Network. Also live on Facebook now. Check us out online. If you can't watch us on Facebook, we are on fbrn.us. Again, that's the Fishbowl Radio Network. And I'm one deep today, but it's all good because I got an exciting show planned today. I got some dope content that I want to cover. The first thing that I'm going to be going over here shortly is 10 ways that you can make a great first impression. You only get one opportunity to make a good first impression, so I'm going to go over a few different ways that you can make a great first impression. And I'm also going to be giving a list of my top 10 books that I've read so far. If you follow me, you probably know that I'm an avid reader. Reading has literally changed my life. In fact, I did one show over ways that reading has changed my life and the positive impact that it's made on me. So I want to go over my top 10 books that I've read thus far. Still have a lifetime of reading to go, which I'm really looking forward to. So I want to go over the first 10 books, or the top 10 books that I've read thus far, and I'll cover a little bit about what they cover in the books and how it's impacted my life. But before I do that, got to give you an update on those Dallas Cowboys. We did win this past Sunday. We beat down the Washington Redskins 33-19. It was a good game. And we moved on to 4-3 on the record. We're above 500. So, hey, man, I'm always glass half full. So, we're on the right direction. We got a big game coming up this Sunday here in Arlington, Texas, which is where I'm at, by the way. The stadium is about 2 miles that way back behind me. So, it'll be lively. It'll be real vibrant this Sunday. We're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, who they're off to a great start. So that's going to be a tough challenge, but hey, I think we're up for it. And then the next week, or maybe the week after, I need to double check the schedule, but we got the Philadelphia Eagles coming to town. They're the best in the NFC right now, the best in the NFC East. I have to give them their props, give props where it's due. But hey, they got to come down here to Jerry's World, to the AT&T Stadium, and face those Dallas Cowboys. So they better bring their A game. You dig? All right, now that we've covered my Dallas Cowboys, it's always good when we get a victory. So now that we've covered that, I just want to start off by saying I want to encourage everyone out there to get outside your comfort zone. I've said this multiple times, but it's more prevalent now than ever. I was watching a YouTube video the other day about the subconscious mind, which is very powerful if you're not aware of your subconscious mind and how it operates. I would highly recommend you go and research that and learn more about the nuances of the subconscious mind. But basically, our subconscious mind, as well as our conscious mind in general, is made to keep us away from harm. It's made to keep us in our comfort zone. You know, it wants to avoid all possible harmful things that are out there and keep you safe and keep you surviving and living to see another day, which is understandable, right? However, your subconscious mind, it keeps data of everything that ever happened. Your subconscious mind has made a mental report of that, and it stores that information. So it knows when you're in a comfortable place, and it knows when you're definitely outside your comfort zone. Because when you do get outside your comfort zone, it's going to make you feel a little maybe anxious, maybe, uncomfortable and, not at ease. So it does that because it wants you, again, not to be harmed. However, when you do get outside your comfort zone and you do begin to adjust and to adapt, your subconscious mind, again, makes note of that. So if it happens again, you won't be as uncomfortable. You won't feel as anxious. You will be a little bit more prepared to handle that situation. So let me give you an example. Being an entrepreneur, that's something that I've never done. And that's something that a lot of people who want to do or may have, a small fear of it. Being an entrepreneur is extremely uncomfortable. However, once you dive in, the same thing if you're diving in a pool and it's really cold, once you adjust and once you adapt, your subconscious mind makes note of that. And now, once you get in the water, it starts to warm up a little bit. You can have fun and enjoy yourself. Once you get into that entrepreneur journey, you can start to kind of relax a little bit more, but still be conscious that you have to put in work and put in effort and take action, but it won't feel as uncomfortable once you get used to doing it, or again, once you get outside your comfort zone. So I just want to encourage everyone to get outside their comfort zone, make themselves feel uncomfortable, push themselves to new limits, because the mind has almost infinite capability. So once you push it to a new limit, it won't reform. It's already stretched. It can't go back. It can't retract. So get outside your comfort zone, learn new things, meet new people, and do something that you've never done before. Try new food, watch a new movie, go to a different genre concert that you're not familiar with or that you're not normally used to. Go to a country music concert if you don't like country music. So I just want to encourage everyone, inspire everyone to get outside their comfort zone. So with that being said, again, on today's show, I'll be covering 10 ways that you can make a great first impression. Now I'm going to take a little break, and then I'm going to go over the top 10 books that I've read thus far and how they've had a positive impact on me. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it, man. I'm a little behind today, but hey, we're going to keep it rolling. Again, I'm going to go over 10 ways that you can make a great first impression. Listen, you only get one opportunity to make a first impression. You only get one opportunity to make a first impression when you meet someone out in public, where you meet someone for an interview, where you meet someone at your job, or if you're in a social setting. It really doesn't matter what situation you're in. You only get one opportunity to make a great first impression. So I would recommend making your first impression your best impression. All right? And if you don't make a first impression and you're not memorable and you do meet someone again in the future and they didn't remember you, you may have another opportunity to make a first impression, but that just means you did a horrible job of making at the first time that you met that person because you weren't memorable. They didn't remember you. You had to go and reintroduce yourself. But that's okay, though. If you do get that opportunity, cash in a second time. But again, I want to outline 10 different ways that you can make a positive and lasting first impression. Hey, and by the way, before I go over this list, if you find any of this information helpful or valuable, please don't hesitate to share it on your Facebook, on your social media pages. I am uploading the majority of my videos and shows to my YouTube page, so make sure you check that out as well, the Alston Collaborative. Follow my business page, which I posted on Facebook in the status section. That's also the Alston Collaborative. You can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, at the Alston Collab. My last name is Alston, and that's Collab, Collab. So make sure you check me out on the social media handles. And again, if you find any of this information helpful, share it, tag a friend. 10 ways to make a great first impression. The first way that you can make a great first impression, and this is something that you can just do in general to make yourself feel good and to make others comfortable, if you will, is to smile. Smiling has been proven to have numerous benefits. When you first meet someone, if you smile, first off, you're automatically giving off positive vibrations. You're giving off a higher frequency. And also at the same time, it will help the other person or the other party to become, more receptive. It may help them to put their guards down because they don't feel, threatened if you come and you have a big smile on your face. And at the same time, whenever you smile, whenever you first meet someone, it also makes you more attractive. So if you're in the dating scene or a social setting and you meet a young lady or a young guy and you want to give off a great first impression, smile. It will ease the mood. It will make you more receptive. And again, it'll push you on a higher vibration and a higher frequency. So whenever you're meeting new people, learn to smile. The second thing, or the second way that you can make a great first impression, is to remember the person's name and use it. Now, I think memorization in general has become a lost art. Like, actually, with technology and the smartphones and everything, how many people's phone number do you actually have memorized? I remember when I was growing up, when I didn't have a cell phone, and we would go out and we would write people's numbers on a piece of paper, and after a while, you end up remembering it. Now, not so much. But if you want to make a lasting impression on someone, remember their name, remember the person's name, and use it. Now, believe it or not, it's actually an art to remembering someone's name or remembering anything in general. One good example when you meet or when you encounter someone or you meet a new person is to, repeat their name immediately. Once they say it to you, repeat it out loud. Oh, did you say your name was Jonathan? Or did you say your name was Alicia? Or whatever the case may be, repeat it out loud. We're back to the person. Number one, so you make sure you're pronouncing it correctly. And number two, it'll help you remember it as well. And it's okay to ask them again or to ask them how they pronunciate it. One power connector even goes as far as carrying pen and paper and writing the person's first and last name down and asking them if he's unsure of the spelling, hey, would you mind spelling that for me? He even takes it a step further, and throughout the conversation, he'll jot down notes about that person. So the next time that they speak, whether that's over he or she, next time they speak, they'll try to reference some things that they had spoke about last time. Oh, I remember you told me you were getting ready for your son's birthday party. How did that go? Did you guys have a good turnout? So remember the person's name and use it as well. Dale Carnegie said in his book, which is actually on my list of my top 10 books, but he said in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence Others, that remembering someone's name is a sure way to make new friends. And again, this is all about making a great first impression. So remember their person's name and use it. The next thing that you can do, which is extremely important, again, in general, whether you're making a first impression or whether you're in a business setting, family setting, it doesn't matter. The next thing that you can do to make a great first impression is to listen. Listen, listen, listen. I think this might also be a lost art as well. But listening is a great way to make a great first impression. The best and the most effective communicators are all great listeners. Listen, if you are able to master the art of listening, you are surely headed towards success. If you want to make a good first impression, listen to what the other person is saying. If you really want to take it to another level, make sure that the other person is doing most of the talking. Because if they're doing most of the talking, what does that mean you're doing? You're listening. You're also gathering information about that person. So again, whenever you meet that person again, you can reference something that you guys spoke about. Whenever you are genuinely interested in someone, you will make it a point to listen to them. Now, a lot of times we get in conversations. This actually happened to me recently. And me and this person was having a conversation, and I was trying to tell them something. They just kept trying to finish my sentence or say, oh, yeah, that was it. I'm like, if you give me a moment and let me finish, I can, explain to you what I was trying to say. But they just kept cutting in instead of just taking a back seat or taking, a step back and just listening to what the other person is saying. So as you continue to build and cultivate your relationships, make sure that you are doing a great job of listening. the next thing that you can do. Now, when I first heard this one, I was a little skeptical, to be honest with you. And that thing that you can do, that I'm talking about, that you can do to make a great first impression is to use touch appropriately. Touch, like touching someone. Use touch appropriately. Like I said, when I first heard this, I was like, hold on, I'm trying to make a good first impression, and I'm meeting a stranger, and I'm going to all of a sudden touch them? What is that? What is that about? But it can feel a little awkward, but once I studied it and read up on it a little bit more, I got a better understanding of how you can use touch appropriately. In one book that I read, I can't even recall the name of it, but it was basically about the life of Nelson Mandela. And another one that I read actually was also about Bill Clinton. Both of them were great speakers, they were great communicators, and they used the art of touch properly. They mastered it. They used the art of touch properly. So let me give you an example. Bill Clinton, for example, and I read about this in his book and in another book about communicating with people. And I saw a YouTube video when he actually met Nelson Mandela. He came and he greeted him and he shook his hand, but he just didn't stop with a handshake. He shook his right hand and he put his left arm on Nelson Mandela's shoulder. And that was, again, using the proper use of touch. It was receptive, it was warming, it was opening, and it was genuine. And again, another way that you can do that when you shake someone's hand, again, you always want to shake someone's hand with your right hand. You want to give a firm handshake, but take your left hand and just put that gently over their right hand. Nice to meet you. So basically, you have their hand in between your two hands. That is an effective way to use touch. Another way, if it's with someone that you already know, that you're more familiar with, but you're still wanting to be receptive and warm and opening, is whenever you meet someone, put your hand on their shoulder, on the back of their shoulder. Hey, how you doing? Nice, what's going on? How's everything going with you? That's one great way that you can, again, use touch properly. All right. Lastly, whenever you meet someone or you're parting ways with someone, and you shake their hand, kind of lean forward a little bit, and again, you can put your hand on top of their hand, or again, put your hand on right there on their forearm, right here on your forearm, and say good day or have a good night. It was great seeing you. So again, if you want to make a great first impression, whether you're meeting someone for the first time or not, learn to use touch appropriately. Learn to give firm handshakes. Learn the art of touching at the right time. You don't want to, again, get too touchy or get too creepy, but learn to use it in the right fashion. The fifth way that you can make a great first impression is by asking good questions. Ask great questions. Now, this is basically a follow-up on the third rule on listening, because you're not going to be able to ask good questions if you're not listening to what the other person is saying. A lot of good questions that you can ask will be a follow-up on something that they previously stated. It might be as simple as just repeating what they just said to you. Oh, you said you went to the game this past weekend, the Cowboy game? How was it? I know it was live in there, right? That's a great way that you can just ask a question, but it's a repeat question. But learn, again, to ask good questions. And then whenever you do start to ask good questions, that'll get the other person talking. That'll get the other person giving out information to you so that you, again, can listen and make a mental note or even make a physical note, write down what they're saying. And whenever you do start to ask good questions, that's another way that'll make the person more receptive. That'll make you seem like you're actually interested in what the person has to say. And again, you'll never know when you'll come across this person again, whether it's at a conference or a seminar, whether it's at a concert, whether it's in a meeting or doing business. It doesn't matter. And then if you did a good job of asking questions, and if you did a good job of listening, you can reference something back to them that you had from a previous conversation. Oh, you said you and your wife or your husband were about to go on vacation. How was it? I've never been to Hawaii. What are some suggestions, some things that I should do whenever I do make it out there? That's a great way to not only make a great first impression, but to start cultivating your relationships. Is by asking good questions and listening. What up, Langston? What up, little buddy? What's up, Chase? Hey, speaking on that, I need to holler at you about some business, man. I'm working on some big things, some big projects, Chase, and I need your help. Shout out to my girl, Chase Martin with Empress Marketing. She's an entrepreneur, too. She was one of the first people that I interviewed on my show. She actually was sitting about right here. This was months ago, so shout out to my girl, Chase. By the way, this is the Ray Alston. This is the Alston Collab Money Talk. I am streaming live on the Fishbowl Radio Network. Also live on Facebook right now. Again, if you find any of this information helpful, please share it to your social media pages. Be sure to check out my social media, my Instagram, my Twitter, my Snapchat at the Alston Collab. My business page, you can also check that out. That's in the comment section. Go like the business page, Alston Collaborative. Also, check out my girl, Chase Martin, Empress Marketing, LLC. She's doing big things. So if you need your flyers, some social media, blog posts or pictures, tickets for your event, she can hook all of that up. The next thing that you can do to make a great first impression. Right now I'm going over 10 ways that you can make a great first impression. And number 6 is to use positive body language. Use positive body language. Now I talked a little bit about properly using the art of touch, but also learn to use positive body language as well. If you research communication and connecting with individuals, the majority of our communication is nonverbal. It's by our body language. You can read someone's body language and they could be saying one thing, but their whole demeanor is saying something completely different. Like if you, just for example, if you go and meet someone and say, "Hey man, how you doing?" and they be like, I'm good, I'm doing pretty good. They got their head down, shoulders are hunched over. They said it in a somber tone. Like, you said you're good, but none of your body language says that you're doing good. It doesn't look like, everything is okay. So you want to in that case, you may want to express some empathy and, ask some questions and see if there's anything you can do to help. But you want to, again, get in the habit of using positive body language. And I learned this also from reading Nelson Mandela's book because, again, he was an effective communicator and he used positive body language. He kept his shoulders square and upright. He held his head high. His chin was up. He was always looking forward, always looking ahead. Use positive body language. If you're talking or speaking with someone, try not to, cross your arms. That kind of seems a little, like you're being guarded or you're not as receptive. Be open. And again, smile. Smile is one of the most positive things that you can do in regards to body language. So again, keep your shoulders square, keep your hands unfolded, keep your head held high, and smile. Use positive body language. Number 7 on the list, appearance. Having a great appearance is another good way that you can make a good first impression. That's why every time I come to my show, I try to dress business casual because I want to make a good appearance. All right. Now, you don't necessarily have to have a lot of money to take pride in your appearance. You don't have to take a lot of money to be well groomed, to be neat, and to dress neatly. All right. Now, appearance often says more than your words. Okay? Again, you don't need to have a lot of money to dress properly, but if you're going to an event or a conference or a seminar, a birthday party, a dinner, you want to make sure that you're dressed appropriately and you're dressed accordingly. The worst thing that I've saw is people going to an interview and they got on a red shirt and a blue jacket with white socks. Guys, if you're going into an interview or you're wearing a suit, please don't wear white socks with your dress shoes. That's not appropriate. It's not. All right. Now, whether you're a guy or a gal, I think that you should have at least one good suit. One good black, gray, or navy blue suit. That's really important. I actually learned that by going to Hampton University and being involved in the 5-year MBA program. Although I didn't finish my 5th year, but that's another story. I did get my degree though, but they taught us about wearing a gray suit, wearing a black suit or a navy blue suit, having a all white shirt or a blue shirt or a light blue shirt. You know, those are really important things whenever you're going to an interview or you're going to a business meeting. Prime example, look at any politician. The president even if you don't like him or hate him. I like to, think of the Obama days, but they always have on black, blue, or gray suit. You don't ever see them in brown suits or, actually I did see Obama one time in a tan suit. But the majority of the times when they're doing any type of public presentations, they're going to have on black, gray, or navy blue. So please take pride in your appearance. Be well groomed, be neat, be clean. And again, your appearance says a lot. Your appearance and how you dress can speak volumes. You can go to a setting and be well dressed and you don't even have to say much because, again, your appearance speaks for you. It speaks volumes. The next thing that you can do to make a great first impression is make eye contact. Did you notice that? Make good eye contact. Now, this again goes in any type of setting, whether you're talking to your kids, whether you're talking to your spouse, whether you're meeting someone again for the first time. If you're presenting to an audience for the first time, you want to make good eye contact. Make good eye contact. Now, again, doesn't matter if you're interacting with, someone that you already know, or if you're speaking at a conference or a seminar, you want to make good eye contact. That's actually another thing that you can do to give off positive body language. Now, don't stare at the person, just be staring at them like, yeah, so what's a good book to read? Oh, yeah, how did you do that? You're a first-time entrepreneur? How'd you get new clients? Like, don't make it creepy, but you do want to make good eye contact. Again, you want to stand tall. You want to be assertive. You want to present yourself and look a person, in their eyes. That also will show that you're genuine, that you're interested, and it also saying that you're listening. Not only are you listening with your ears, but you're listening with your eyes. Again, when meeting new people, whether it's in a business setting or a conference or a seminar, workshop, it doesn't matter. You want to make good eye contact because if you don't, you have your head down, you're not really looking the person in their eyes, you're going to come off as timid or passive. And being timid and passive is the opposite thing that you can do to make a great first impression. So learn to make good eye contact, but don't be too creepy with it. Don't stare. Number 9, show enthusiasm. Show me a great salesman and I'll show you a person who has a lot of enthusiasm. Barbara Corcoran on Shark Tank said that her best salesmen were the ones who were able to maintain a high level of enthusiasm even after they faced rejection. So learn to be enthusiastic. This will highly increase the chances of you making a great first impression, people engaging with you, buying from you, listening to you, and just overall showing you a good level of respect. Be enthusiasm. You know, people who can possess the gift of excitement will always be someone who has friends and good relationships. It is natural for people to gravitate toward those people who have a high level of enthusiasm, positivity, and higher vibrations. So you want to make a good first impression, learn to be enthusiastic. Be exciting. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You got this, man. Oh boy, last but not least, number 10. The number 10 way that you can make a great first impression is to put your phone down. Put the phone down. Get off Snapchat. Get off Facebook. Unless you're watching the Alston Collab Money Talk, and then you got to tell the person, hey, man, listen, look at my boy DeRay, man. He's talking about ways to make a good first impression, man. You should follow his business page, the Alston Collaborative. But yes, put your phone down, especially if you're in a social setting and you're meeting someone, if you're on a date for the first time with a guy or girl. Put your phone down. Get off social media. The quickest way that you can show someone that you're uninterested if you're glued to your phone on social media. Even if you're not trying to make a good first impression, put your phone down. Like my girl Erica Badu said, she'll make you push your phone down. One of the things that I hate most is, again, going to a social setting and people are on their phone on social media. Like, how are you at a social setting, but you're on social media? Put the phone down. Engage. Act like it's 1990. Have a conversation. Learn some new things about the person. Ask them, again, good questions. How can you listen to them and ask them good questions if you're glued to your cell phone? Man, so learn to put your phone down. It's okay. You can do without it for, 30 minutes, an hour, even 2 hours. You don't have to get on Instagram or Snapchat every 5 or 10 minutes. This is something I'm working on too as well, by the way. I'm talking to myself also. It's not just people out there on Facebook watching this or listening online, which you are online, by the way, at fbrn.us, streaming live on the Fishbowl Radio Network. It's okay if you want to share this video. Share it to your social media pages. Share it to your Facebook. But don't watch this video when you're interacting with someone for the first time. Save it for later and come back to it. Last thing that you can do to make a great first impression is to put your phone down, man. Get off social media. Don't check your email. Be present with the person that you're talking to, that you're speaking with, and engage with them and listen to them. Get off your phone. If you're just joining us, I've been going over 10 different ways that you can make a great first impression. And before I go on to the next segment, I'm going to recap 10 ways that you can make a great first impression. First way that you can make a good first impression is to smile. Smile, smile, smile. It'll make you feel positive. The other person will also be more receptive. Next thing that you can do is remember their name and use it. Remember, Dale Carnegie said in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence Others, one sure way to make friends is to remember their name. Whenever you introduce yourself or someone introduces themselves to you, repeat their name. Make a mental note of it and repeat it out loud, and even repeat it a few more times inside your head. Remember the person's name and use it. Number 3, listen. Listen, listen, listen. Listen before speaking. Don't do your best not to cut the other person off. Allow them to talk. Allow them to present information. Because if you're talking or cutting them off, or you're doing most of the talking, you're not gathering any information. The prime situation would be where you're talking 20% of the time and the other person is talking 80%. That means you're listening 80% of the time. Again, that will allow you to gather information so that you can reference it at a future date and that you can also learn more about that person. Number 4, Use touch appropriately. Remember the one thing that I talked about whenever you're shaking someone's hand. When you shake their right hand, grip their right hand with your left hand. So now that you have their hand sandwiched, lean in, smile. Master the art of touch. Remember to use it properly. You don't want to be, again, creepy and touching girls on the booty or touching guys on the booty and you just met them. That's not using touch appropriately. Number 5, ask great questions. The only way that you're going to be able to ask good questions is if you're listening. Once you do ask good questions, again, that'll allow the other person to talk, to give out information. Use positive body language. Remember, majority of communication is non-verbal. Your body language says a lot. Remember to keep your shoulders square, your head held high. Keep your arms unfolded. You want to be receptive. You also, again, want to give off positive energy. Appearance. Please take pride in your appearance. If you're going to an event, be aware of the dress code. Make sure that you're well groomed, that you're neat, that you're clean. Take pride in your appearance because, like your body language, your appearance says a lot about who you are. Number 8, make great eye contact. Again, you want to master the art of making good eye contact. Whenever you meet someone, you don't want to come off as passive or timid. That's not giving a good first impression. Number 9, show enthusiasm. Be lively, be vibrant. Again, a person who has the skill of excitement will always have good friends and relationships. Be excited, be enthusiastic about life. Because after all, this is a blessed, beautiful life that we're living in. It doesn't even matter what you're going through. If you're alive and you're well, you can hear, see, touch, taste, because I love to eat. Life is great. And last but not least, put your phone down. Please put your phone down if you're trying to make a great first impression. That's one of the worst things you can do is be glued to your phone when you're first meeting someone, especially if you're out on a first date or a first business meeting is being glued to your phone. Turn it off. Put it on silent. Put it on vibrate. Better yet, leave it in the car. Unless you got children and, they may cough or something and you want to have it nearby. But other than emergencies, get off your phone. Get off social media. Listen to the other person. Be engaging. Be receptive to what they're saying. That is my list of 10 ways that you can make a great first impression. And if you want to actually see these written out, go check out my website, thealstoncollab.com. That's THE, Alston, ALSTON, collab, COLLAB.com. I actually wrote this back in April of this year. So go check out the website. I actually got those 10 things listed down. And again, if you find any of this information helpful, please share it to your social media pages. Be sure to follow me on social media on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, The Alston Collab. You can see behind the scenes footage of me being an entrepreneur and some of the things in my day-to-day life. I think it's exciting. But yeah, follow me, and I'm also trying to drop things that are motivational, inspiring, encouraging as well. So those are my top 10 things that you can do to make a great first impression. I'm going to take a quick break, play a little music, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to give the top 10 books that I've read thus far. And one of these books that's on the list, I'm going to also tell you how you can have a chance to win that book. And I'll ship it to you. I'll meet you in person and give it to you. It's had a big impact on my life. In fact, I've read it 2 or 3 times now. And I'm going to tell you how you can win it. So stay tuned. This is the Alston Collab Money Talk. We are streaming live on the Fishbowl Radio Network, FBRN.US. Also live on Facebook. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. You did.